then. I'm glad to have each of you with us. And if you need to grab the code, please do. And so we'll start by asking each of you, we'll start with Karina, if you'll each go down and just kind of introduce yourselves, what you do, how much business you've done, how long you've been in the business, what your niche is, any of that kind of stuff.
Well, hi, I'm Karina Bassett. I'm originally from Venezuela. I have been here in Utah for 36 years. So I came when I was 1.
Right.
I came into real estate. It's gonna be 5 years in October. Love what I do, and I serve everybody.
My name is Rachel Harvey. I live up in the Heber Valley. My husband has been a realtor for 12-ish years, maybe. Him and my business partner, James, were first business partners, and I helped them with a lot of marketing stuff. And then my husband decided to be a cop. Anyway, he's with the Heber City Police Department now, and so I got my license. So I think I've been licensed maybe 3.5 years. But yeah, maybe that's all I want to tell you right now, because I have a hard time stop talking when it's my turn. So
Okay, I'm Shelley Jameson. I've been a real estate agent for almost 7 years, which is crazy. I specialize in Spanish Fork, like that is my niche. I have had a ton of success by very dialing it in. So I'm mainly South Utah County, or I work all of Utah County. I won't work outside of Utah County, which I know is probably surprising for most people, but it's not worth my time to drive somewhere really far to when I would rather be spending time with my family. So to me, that's more of a priority than working all over the state. I see a lot of agents work all over the state, and that's fine if it works for you, but for me, I'd rather work in Utah County, and so far it's working. So anyway, that's all I'll tell about me.
Okay, my name's Ingrid Campbell. I'm up in the Heber Valley as well. I've been licensed, I think, for 5 years. I have to look that up, but about that. Definitely specialize in Heber for the same reasons, but we are kind of isolated. So I will come down to Utah County, but I don't like to for the same reasons. And just knowing the communities more, I feel a lot more confident in the place that I live and knowing those communities to serve my clients. Definitely specialize in buyers. I think 95% of my business is buyers rather than sellers. I should probably make that more like 50-50 after July. So we're working on that. We're working on that. Yeah.
I'm Eric Campbell, Ingrid's husband. I will be licensed 8 years in July. My earlier part of my career was spent in new construction with Edge Homes, in the same places that the Fieldstone guy was. So Eagle Mountain, Harriman, Utah County. Made the transition up to Heber with Ingrid. We focus, like she said, on buyers. And yeah, try to just do that.
I'm James Ross. Rachel and I run the Spruce real estate team in Midway, Heber area. Been licensed for about 5 years, about the same. And Rachel and Heath Baton switched me on partners. Rachel is a hard worker and makes a great business partner. A lot of people think we're married. Sometimes she calls me Heath, then that's her husband, but we are not. But we work really well together. She has a lot of strengths that I don't have, and she just doesn't use the strengths that I have. She could probably do it all. But yeah, we do most of our business in Wasatch County. We do some business in Summit County, and we have clients that we've dealt with in the past that have moved here or there in Utah. So if it means I have to drive to lead to help somebody, then we've done it. once. But we did close the deal. We've been doing a lot of business in Salt Lake County lately, just from referrals from clients who just wanted to work with us. So if it means me driving there on weekends, which has been every weekend lately, that's what it is. And it might not be here tomorrow, so I'll take what I can get. And so, anyway.
Tim Reynolds, my wife Agnes and I are both agents. We have a small team of about 8 agents. I'm a member of the Salt Lake Board, but I live in Provo. I do and take business wherever I can. And so I've had, in the last 12 months, I've had closings as far north as Manaway, as far east as Camas, as far south as St. George. And I'm in the car a bit, so lots of books in a day. But I guess I'm an opportunist. And so that's why I'll take business anywhere.
So we're gonna start with Tim and go back again. Tell me about what's the one piece of advice that you wish you had received when you first started in real estate?
One piece of advice I wish I would have. This is probably the biggest thing that I've learned over the last, so I got my license 7 years ago, left corporate America about 6.5 years ago. And learning how to identify opportunities and act on them right away has been the biggest muscle that I've tried to develop in terms of just having a robust pipeline and a robust amount of business. And so and just like I've always made it my mantra when I left corporate America. I was always very critical of the real estate space. I'd left a bit of family, and so I always made it my mantra to try to be. And I think everyone here is this the opposite of the stigma, because there can be a pretty bad stigma for us as agents. And so I've always said, hey, I'm going to just try to be good to work with. But taking that and then identifying opportunities and acting on them right away and not waiting has been the biggest business muscle that I've tried to develop the most.
I think the first thing that comes to mind, I don't know if it's the most important, but the first thing that comes to mind is when I started, I would just work with anybody, just trusting that they were a good buyer, qualified, ready to go. Had a lot of people waste a lot of time. So I think that time management was really important for me. I think that if I would have known anything at the time, I think really the most important thing is being able to decipher which clients were ready to go and which ones I needed to guide to a lender or somewhere else prior to me spending, 7 weekends in a row, So yeah, I think in the beginning, I think a lot of us agents are so eager to have business that we'll just say yes to anything, and we can not go through the process of vetting our clients a little bit or guiding them into the place they need to be to actually close a deal or whatever. And some of them haven't even been to a lender maybe, and you're just kind of trusting that. So I think with this NAR thing, I think there might be some good with that, because if you will need to vet a little bit more before you have them sign a broker agreement, or at least you'll weed out all the looky-loo buyers who are really not serious and are just there to waste your time. So not trying to sound negative, but just I think that would have been very beneficial for me in the beginning, that I could have focused my time on people who were serious, and then just kind of cultivated that relationship with those who might be 2 years down the road.
It's gonna get harder to answer this question as it goes down the line.
It's okay to have the same answer.
Yeah, I'll switch it up. I think like a good tip would be having confidence, but not being overly confident. Like, it's okay if you don't know something to just say that you don't know it, and that you'll get that information, and you'll be the person that's there to always get information. If you want your clients to respect you, you have to respect them by giving them proper information, making sure you're informed, they're informed, because, ultimately, you're there to facilitate that deal and to make sure that the deal closes and that is to the best of your ability, that everybody's happy on each side of the agreement. So I see, I can kind of feel when an agent maybe hasn't done as much or as many deals as maybe I have in the past or whatever, and sometimes you get a sense of that, and then you can help guide that person as well. But yeah, being confident in yourself is pretty key.
My tip for someone starting out is that they would need to know that you either need to spend your time or your money to get your business started. And that's kind of always what I say. Like, it needs to be, if you don't have money to put into marketing, it needs to be your time. So whether you're the type of person that wants to have a booth at a farmer's market or go knock doors or send out put flyers out, or spend money in marketing, but you have to do one or the other. Business isn't just going to come to you. And I think that took me a little while to figure out. So.
I would say consistency. So I write an article every month called Spanish Fork Happenings. Spanish Fork, as you know, if you've been there, is blowing up, it's growing and it's just expanding. And I saw a need on some of the community pages where people would say, hey, do you know what's being built over here or all that? And I said, I'll find out, so I turned that into a career because I find out what's coming. I make an announcement every month of what, and it's not anything that anybody else can't figure out. It's just that nobody takes the time to put it somewhere and people decide to follow me because I do. So every month I post to social media. I also have a newsletter database that if they sign up for my newsletter, they get it a day before everyone else. So they get the information of what's coming, the new restaurants, whatever, before everyone else. So I get a lot of people signing up for my newsletter for that. And then of course they're in the database now. The biggest thing is consistency. I've been doing Spanish Fork Happenings. Video, I've been doing it for like 4 years now. Yes, you have to do videos, and yes, you have to sound stupid, and you just do it anyway. Because if you don't, I'm going to take your clients that don't know who you are. And that's a hard fact, and it's unfortunate, but I show up, people know who I am, and that's just because I am consistent. So I did videos for 4 years, and before that, I just did like a post. And so someone encouraged me to do video, and I pushed back, and it was the best thing I ever did. So, and yes, I say dumb things and I just go with it, but that makes me human and it makes me relatable, and people trust me because I'm not this uber professional. I'm a human. And so, anyway, I would say last year or maybe a year and a half ago, all of a sudden I got a ton of business, and last year was a really rough year for most people, but it was my best year yet. So, I just think I do it every single month without fail because people expect it from me. They ask me when it's coming. I'm like, it's always the first Thursday. It's always the first Thursday. Like, so I have to do it now.
Are you talking about your video or your monthly newsletter?
It's the same thing. So I have a video with my monthly newsletter that I post to social media, and I say like, hey, we're getting an in and out, or we're getting this, or like, this is the, you can bring all your spring items to the recycle, like to dump all that stuff, just anything that's happening in the community. And again, it's not hard information to get, but I give it to them. So, and then I make a video about one of the articles or one of the things in my article. So, but I would say it took 3 years probably before I really started to see anything from that. So 3 years of showing up every single month, making videos, feeling stupid, hating the way I sound, hating the way I look, and just doing it anyway. But now I have so much clientele. So last year I closed almost 60% from social media, from people who didn't know me, but they knew me from my consistency. So 60% of people that I had no idea, but they just called me and said, I want you to sell my home. And I said, okay. So you have to show up and you have to do it for a really long time.
And you have to follow Shelley Jameson. On social media. She does awesome.
When you first asked this question, the first thing that popped into my brain, even though I love all of these things, is there's a fine line between when you become an agent. There's a fine line between like super annoying all of your sphere of influence of I'm a realtor, and still the other side of is, oh yeah, Rachel's a realtor. Is she even doing any work? Like there's a fine balance of letting your sphere of influence know what you do. James and I took some buyers to a house last year, and when I was making the appointment, I was like, this is Marcia's house. I've known Marcia for 12 years. We show up with our clients at Marcia's house. Yep, it really was Marcia's house. We were passed as we were going in with our clients, and Marcia goes, Rachel, I didn't know you were a realtor.
Ooh, ouch.
So there's a pretty beautiful balance between letting
Did you leave all the lights on?
She's super duper nice. But like, I knew her, don't make fun of me, I knew her from Quilt Guild, and I guess at Quilt Guild, we just didn't talk about Rachel's a realtor. But like, I learned a lesson on that. You don't want to annoy people. But
Right.
people need to know that you're doing business and you're in business. This morning at the gym, we were talking, and this mom was talking about the disaster that her closet is. And I was like, okay, here's my little interjection. And I was like, oh my gosh, I showed a house on Sunday. It's over by Jana's house. That closet was immaculate. My clients and I could not believe how crazy organized that closet was. End of the story. That's all I said. So learn that beautiful little balance of, I was showing homes. I have clients looking at homes, but not annoying. That's my tip. Let people know without being annoying.
My turn. My tip would be you. I think that when you try to be somebody or try to not be yourself, I think people can sense that. You need to be genuine. You need to be you. Nobody can tell you, hey, you know what? You're gonna do great if you dance like me. I mean, be you and have fun. I think that if you are in whatever you do in life, whatever you do, you need to do it because the right reasons, and the right reason is to be you love it. I go to work. Show up.
Yes.
So we'll start in the middle and you guys can battle out who gets to go first. We've got a lot of questions from these guys about where you get your lead. Not about your lead gen strategy.
The sky.
I mean, ours are the same, so
Yeah.
you want to talk about it?
Sure. When I left, so our lead gen comes from Zillow, 100%, almost 100%. We're starting now to get into referrals. So of the many people that are moving from out of state into the Heber Midway market, we've probably talked to the majority of them. We decided, I had left Edge Homes. I had gone to a team in Utah County. Realized very quickly how the team operated with Zillow. There's a few big teams in the Valley that you guys all know of, and that's how they operate. And I spent 6 months with them, kind of just doing their thing, but trying to understand the process. And was like, I don't know why I'm on this team. I could do this myself. I just need to find an area. And it just so happened to be that the zip code for Heber came up. So for those that don't know Zillow's platform, basically you pay Zillow for advertising space within a certain zip code or multiple zip codes or however you want to do it. We've found that you kind of have to go as much in as you can to get the leads. I think Zillow likes to say that if you're converting 3% of your leads into closed deals, you're doing well. And I think we close 8 to 9% of leads that come in through us. So in the same way that we're opportunists, I saw an opportunity to take over a market through that platform, and we did that. So we got a little bit lucky with the zip code, and then we've been able to, as it's expanded, to also keep our place at kind of the top there. So we're currently getting the most phone calls out of that area than other agents. There are other agents that, you know, advertise in that zip code.
Eric, can you give us an idea of what the cost is to do something like that?
It's very,
It's a very spendy, but I would suggest for people starting out is how we started out is on a team. because then you don't pay any money. You just give them 50% of your closing. So you're paying on the back end. And when we were starting, we would like, I would rather have a closing than have zero, right? And pay 50%. I was ecstatic with that split when we started because I was getting leads. Because my phone was ringing 5 times a day with people wanting to see houses. Once you get going and you have money to put back into it, then put it back in. But I think we started in Heber around $5,000 and worked our way up. It's significantly more than that now. So, but I mean, there's a return on your investment. So, so as long as we're making, you know, at least 2% on our investment, which is what we aim for. then-
Especially where you live, that's like a fourth of a closing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically, it's one closing a month is what it costs about, you know, and then we're aiming for, you know, at least 5 closings a month. We like to be more around 9 or 10. So, but I also wanted to add, when we were starting, how I started was, a company that, they're called White Glove. I can tell you that I don't use them anymore. But it would, do seminars. So like it would advertise on social media to do a first-time home buyer seminar, and it would advertise like specific zip codes. And it would get all of the people to these seminars for me. I just had to show up and do a first-time home buyer class. And then I got a bunch of clients from that, and that was really successful for a lot of times. And you can probably do that on your own, instead of paying a company, and advertise it through like a library, you know, through the community somehow, but just first-time home buyer classes and get people to come. Those were really, really great. And I don't know why I stopped doing them. I did those for a couple years and got quite a bit of
Yeah,
from that. We just kind of transitioned to Zillow, and it's just working really well for us right now. So that's kind of the majority of what we do.
Let me
Right
just have one follow-up question on that. You mentioned 3% is kind of the going rate from Zillow, the average.
for
You
conversion.
guys are at like 9%. What would you attribute the extra 6% that you guys are giving?
Following up. So, I mean, if we're getting 20 to 50 phone calls and leads a month, those get lost really easily. I do actually have someone that works for me kind of as an assistant that's following up on those leads really consistently. So, you know, we'll do the first couple of days and then weekly, monthly, because not all of them directly connect with me, or maybe they fall off and like I can't get a hold of them, but we're constantly trying to manage those leads and follow up with them because they are people that were at some point interested. So just, yeah. tons of
You
them.
use somebody to follow up on those leads?
Yeah, so they're just using like a CRM to text or email. They're not
You don't do that,
calling.
you hire somebody else to do that?
Yeah, I have someone, I actually just started that like a month or 2 ago, because we just have so many that are falling through the cracks. So, and I basically just give them like, you know, just a check-in message kind of template to follow up with them.
Use a follow-up for that.
No, again, Zillow has its own CRM. I have used Follow Up Boss before. I used to pay for that. I just kind of didn't use it enough. I mean, a CRM, what did someone tell us? It's only as good as the person using it,
Right.
right? And so if you're not using it, it's not really worth the cost.
Mhm.
But yeah, you kind of need some kind of CRM, especially if you're gonna have someone else doing the follow-up for you, because they need a platform to text or email from, right?
Yeah, I know a little bot. Oh, boss, that's why I am.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, we're not like required to use everything that Zillow uses.
No.
Like we can do anything with those leads. We take them out. I mean, those are ours forever. So,
One more
Yeah.
question. So you said Heber,
yeah.
you get 20 to 30 calls from Zillow?
I think we're
Yeah,
I think
that's just,
Not
no, per month.
per month.
Yeah, per month.
Yeah,
I
those are
noticed
calls,
not
and then,
the Same boat,
okay, and then there's something called nurture leads, which didn't connect with someone.
yeah,
And then we get probably 10 to 20 more of those.
I'm not looking at donors if that's don't work.
Well, you can't. So that's the thing with Zillow, is a lot of them are locked out, like they're completely bought out. And so joining a team is a good way to kind of get into those, because
They
they're
have the buying power to
just,
go to different places and win it. And honestly, we get first dibs. So
Well,
Zillow will call us when something's about to open up and they say, do you want to take over?
yeah, just agents that have a high rating because they want people that are getting good reviews. To have the priority, and so.
Yeah, so you have to do a good job as well. And there's a lot of agents that do market through Zillow and like all of the stuff that they give you to become, what do they call it? The premier, thank you, agent, like you gotta hit all those metrics. So you gotta be sure that if you're spending money on it, like really dial yourself in so that you're in the 96th percentile on every single one of those metrics, because that does start to affect their algorithm.
And then I don't want to like just dominate with Zillow here, but the other thing is don't go in and do like $100 a month. It's gonna be a complete waste of your money. You'll get like one closing in 5 years and it'll just be a waste. You either have to really get a big chunk of the zip code or none at all. That's why I always say join a team if you don't have that income. What's that?
They bought,
No, I think they're
Yeah,
in Park City,
they
but
Park City.
not. She does a little bit still. Yeah. She used to.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah.
What was
Otherwise
the
it'll be too
question?
long. Your lead gen's better.
Oh, well, it was interesting hearing yours. I've never paid for a lead, so
Time or money, so she's time.
it's time. Well,
Right?
now it's different because social media is my lead gen and it's free. So, I don't pay for leads. I've never made a cold call ever. I don't use scripts. I'm sure the nice thing is that I love about this is that we all can have different methods
Then you won't do.
and we're all great, right? But like, and I get coached too. So I have coaching where we try to have 4 pillars of like lead sources, right? So, what's working for me may not work for someone else, vice versa. So, anyway, social media is my bread and butter for sure. And Facebook is my number one because people on Facebook are typically older and have a lot of equity in their house and, and honestly, you're just responding to people, giving them answers, always being polite, and which is sometimes hard to do on a social forum. So, but I put people in their place too sometimes. So anyway,
Do you
yeah.
advertise on your personal page and do you have a business page?
I have a business page. You have to have a business page because the backside of Facebook is so helpful. Meta Suite. I pre-post all of my social media once a month there. And so it posts on its own. It'll tell you the times when people are active. And if you don't have a business page, it's a waste of time. You really need to have one. And yes, so I have a business page that has like 3,000 people following me and that's where I get a ton of my leads from. So.
I feel like the farmer who went to Harvard and said, I want to help build a building. And the guy said, the dean of Harvard said, that's ridiculous. You have no money. Do you know how much we spend to build our facilities? And he told him a number and he looked at his farmer wife and said, let's just go make our own place. And they built Stanford. That's kind of how I feel because James and I don't pay for anything. Lead wise, like Zillow, we don't, and we are social media idiots. Just kidding.
No,
We're just nice people. I don't know how we get our leads. Just people that we know.
Can I just say,
That makes a difference.
we're a team.
No.
I can tell you because I think about this a lot, actually. So I don't have any social media on my phone at all. I don't have Facebook. I don't have anything. So I do think that there's different things that people do. I learned to do everything the hard way. But I can say that the majority of our leads definitely come from our sphere of influence because every deal that we have right now has to do with our sphere of influence. I think we closed one at 4 today. I think out of the 6 contracts we have right now, all of them are sphere of influence, every single one of them. And then having that sphere of influence happy with what we do, and then they tell someone else. And every time we think we're down on some goal or expectation of what the business should be doing, we have someone call us out of the blue from someone who recommended us from somewhere else. I can think of one deal that we've had through social media. I was out serving one of our clients and I was jacking up some concrete. His dog had dug underneath. I'm out jacking it up. We're backfilling it with dirt so that we could get the listing ready. Rachel comes over with the Facebook Live doing her thing. And someone said, we want that realtor. And they're like, my realtor doesn't do that. And we closed 3 deals off of that. And we still have those clients calling us from what, 2
Yeah.
years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, still sending us clients. Another time I'm out mowing grass for another client who just didn't have time, I guess, but the listing was horrible. Helped them mitigate meth, chopped a couch in the basement in half with a chainsaw and brought it upstairs.
Pull it out. Yeah.
Great, that would have been on social.
I'm not
media.
kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm out mowing the grass. The mom comes over. She says, oh, I hear you're the rock star realtor. I want you to sell that house right there across the street. I own that. Then we've sold them and they and their families, I think 7 homes.
Mm.
You know, it is really just getting out there. Everyone has a different method. I like getting my hands dirty. It's probably why I don't do social media. But everyone has a different way. I wouldn't say there's one model. I think it depends on what your niche is and what she said. She says, do what you love to do. Be yourself. If you want to do social media and you love to do that, then be the best at it. Get with agents who do this and learn from it. If you've always liked getting your hands dirty, then get out there and get your hands dirty and let people know what you do and then have a business partner that does do social media. And but really that's the only one I can think of with that. But really Rachel coaches at a CrossFit gym in town.
James owns the other gym in
I
town.
own it and coach in a CrossFit gym in the other town. I don't know how many deals I've done through that.
Mhm.
And it's not like I'm standing up there coaching saying I do real estate. But
You have an R on your. board.
yeah, I put it on the board.
But I think being
But-
involved in your community.
We just closed a deal with a client that goes to her gym and he knows what she does. And she's been working with this guy for 2 years. He's been 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And we just sold him a home and he was so happy with it. And then he's telling everyone else at the gym. And so, yeah, I think just ours comes from our sphere of influence mostly, I think. And
Just broaden that. Go to
Yeah.
Quilt Guild, go to the library, join a book club,
yeah,
make
just
some friends.
involved in the community. I was at UVU this week, behind the table. So yeah. Yes.
So, if you're not doing a lot of social media where they're seeing your face or anything, are you consistently doing like email campaigns or newsletters so that?
James is like, I don't know, does Rachel do that?
How are they top of mind for your clients if it's just referral?
I'll answer that really quick. James and I are our business partners. We did a killer, like, first of the year workshop that he set up. And after that, my goal was my CRM sucks. He was like, I don't care if it's a box of index cards. I don't care if you're paying for something online. I don't care what it is. Get your CRM figured out. So we have just recently done that. We did have kind of a weak CRM and every once in a while I would send out a little drip campaign. But my husband was always like, I hate getting those emails. I hate them. They're so lame. And I get them from like 700 mortgage lenders, just like you do. How many of them do we open? So yeah, you do need a CRM. You do need that. One thing that I will say that helped our online presence is get some Google reviews. Number one thing that I think has helped our business. Ask some friends, there's a QR code generator online that's for free. Make a little QR code. Save it on your phone, send it to your top 20 family and friends and say, will you please just give me a Google review? I don't care if I've never sold you a house. Just say something nice about me. And that Google review, a Google review is huge. Huge.
Google's the only thing that matters.
What CRM do you use?
Google Sheets.
Well, I have
We'll
a
get
index
back-
box full
we'll
and
get
yeah,
back to the
yeah,
CRM
okay.
question.
Okay.
Karina?
lead gen. Sorry,
Well,
we got honest.
I am in the same boat. I have never paid for a lead. I have sometimes too many leads. My husband laughs. Sometimes I don't know, we're in the car driving and my phone rings and he's like, hi, my name is so-and-so gave me your number, and can you list my house? Literally, and he goes like, you know, and you hear me, yeah, sure. What works next week? We can, no, can you come today? And I'm like, well, I mean, and just on the way here,
And
I
she
did
does.
three.
It's-
I got 3 calls. Hey, so-and-so gave me your number. Can we meet? How's your week? Can we meet? And whatever. I agree that I sustain that you have to do you. And that's why you see so many different opinions here, because everybody's different, right? Don himself talked to me last year, and he says, okay, this year everybody's single. And I was like, really? Like, it was a great year. This year is great. Right now I have 14 under contracts. And let me tell you that these are all are referred from referrals, you know? I am a Zumba instructor, and after Don says, that's why she gets everything. I sat down and I was like, I have closed 3 deals from there. So everything else is literally for what you do and the experience that people have when you work with them, you know? And I don't know, I think that it shows when you're not like, I close 1, I make $15,000. I close 2, I have 3, and you know, just work, just do it, just go to work.
Exactly.
You know, and this year, honestly, guys, it was a super surprise when I saw my numbers. I was like, you know, I don't count that. It's not what makes me
Yes.
move.
I have to tell her numbers every year.
He called me, hey, did you know you got, and I'm like, really? Okay.
Like she said, she's been in real estate for going on 5 years. Her first year, she did 58 transactions. Her second year, she did, I think, 61. Her third year, another 50 something, and then this year, this past year, she did 62 transactions.
And he has my numbers, I don't.
So I think we could probably all agree that's not normal, right? Like, no one just stumbles into real estate and they're getting 50 deals in their first year or whatever. How did you start the ball rolling in the direction?
I'm with you. I'm trying to figure that one out, because honestly, my first month in real estate, I came like this. I didn't know, okay, can you hear me? My second language is English. Try that test for me. I was like, what in the heck does this means? You know, and it was really a challenge, you know? And first month in real estate, I did 12 transactions.
What?
First month?
Yeah.
But where from? Like, how did you know the people? Like,
Yeah, when did they come?
where did you meet the people?
Karina
I am
is
very
very
shy.
social. Karina is very-
I'm
She likes
very
people
shy.
Walmart.
out
She
there a
talked to
lot.
people at Walmart.
Yeah.
And
Target.
really, I'm not out saying, hey, hi, I'm Karina, I'm a realtor. I
Right.
don't. But honestly, I remember that the only person that I knew was my first client. To this day, she's my client and she sends me people. I think that after I closed her, it just went, you know, and it's still going. And I was talking to my husband and driving here, and I was like, I mean, what can I tell you? Is there a secret? No, there is not a secret. I don't have a secret. I cannot even say that the business is not gonna come to you, because it does. Like,
I'll tell you one of her secrets, and it is she's a master negotiator, and she negotiates well for all of her clients.
that is true.
Yeah.
I like to negotiate.
She loves to negotiate. Okay.
And I try to, you know, and I'm pretty sure that we all do that. We try to do the best thing for our clients, you know. Sometimes if we can negotiate a house and it's maybe a little bit cheaper for our clients, I mean, don't think in, oh my gosh, my commission is gonna get chopped a little bit. If you think like that, it's
Yeah.
just not, you're not
I
gonna go
want to,
anywhere.
say there's a common denominator. I haven't heard from you, but I think the common denominator is that we are client focused. 100%.
Absolutely.
Like you, I keep track of my numbers because my coach makes me, but like, you know, I'll be like, oh, wow, you add up your commission and you're like, holy crap, I got a ton of money, but it's not the money. It's literally, how can I help my client And the money will always come.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
If you do what you're doing, the money will be there.
But
Don't
if
focus
you're
on the money.
very salesy and like you said, hi, I'm Shelley, I'm a real estate agent. Everyone's turned off by that, right? I am. It's like, get away from me. But if you go in and you're just very genuine and yourself, and by the way, like it comes up in a conversation after.
What she did, that is awesome.
Exactly.
Oh, I was working with a client the other day. Oh, what do you do? I sell houses,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
or, you know, don't be so, be reachable. I don't even know if that is a word, okay? Be
Approachable.
don't be like, they're gonna come to you. "Oh, my name is, I'm the top realtor.
Yeah.
What do you need? Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have you. Don't,
Relatable.
Yeah.
You be relatable and approachable.
that's what, be reachable.
And be humble.
Be human.
Yeah.
Be, you know, if I'm a joker and you can see, we can be, I don't know, doing the BBA talking, explaining, and we're throwing jokes and, you know, I'm hungry, just be you.
She treats everyone the same. She sold a trailer, which she hated and I hated it. But all the way up to, you know, I mean, very expensive.
Well, she
property.
wanted to buy a house. They own a trailer. They needed that to, and I was like, done. And let me tell you, it's not even because, oh, they're gonna say I sold it. That's not my, it's just a lot of work. You know, a trailer is a pain in the butt. So to me, I was like, I don't wanna do this. And unfortunately, we got two people that wanted to set a trailer right there. And what you gonna do? Sure. Yeah, okay. But you know,
So become a trailer expert. There's a niche.
Expert.
so, that's mainly what I can tell you, and, you know, you will always have people, you will always have business. Like I say, I close between 8 and 14 a month, I mean, in a normal month, and it's all related to other people that have closed 2 months ago, or a year ago, or 3 years ago. It's,
Do you ask for the referral?
I don't.
You know,
I don't.
Quick question for you from the panel, from the audience. What's your percentage of buyers and sellers?
I would say, well, right now, I don't know. I think I'm 50-50 right now. I would say I'm 70-30
Yeah,
70 buyers.
last year,
buyers, 70 buyers, 30 sellers.
last year she was about 70-30. I keep her record.
I love it. My dad is so cute. Yeah, I haven't heard from him in months.
I-
They say, you know, you want this. I'm like, oh.
I wish I ramped up as fast as Karina. My first year I did 12, my second year we did 25, 35 the next year. Middle of the pandemic, we did 54. And we've kind of settled around 40, between 40 and 50 years.
Yeah.
It's
That's
been
good.
yeah, it's been
That is
great.
an awesome number.
It's been great, but I've never bought a lead. It's all been sphere of influence and referrals. But I do cast a wide net. Like I'm a big believer in just having my pipeline come from a variety of places and building silos and making and trying to have a variety of lead sources. Like everybody here, maybe not everybody here, but I'm not a big fan of MLMs, and I don't like coming across as if I'm promoting a pyramid scheme and I'm just wear it on my face. I interject it into many conversations. Early on, Agnes always said, Tim, you can't be a secret agent. But that didn't mean I had to wear it on my sleeve and introduce myself as a real estate agent. You interject it into conversations and it comes naturally.
Or present yourself in somewhere that people want to know what you do. Hey,
Absolutely.
what do you do?
I'm a big fan of open houses. I get a lot of leads from open houses. I'm right now about 50-50 with listings and buyers right now. Historically, it's probably been more 60-40, 70-30, heavier on the buy side. But listings are opportunities to create business and to create leads. When I was in corporate America, I did a ton of conventions where I was the guy at the trade show behind the booth, and it was all about lead gen behind the booth. And so I treat every open house like a trade show, and it's not a hard sell, but it's really simple. I have a piece of paper out that has a printed piece of paper with the Fathom logo on top that says name, phone number, email address, realtor Y or N, I always put a dummy lead. I put my best friend's name, Jason Carney. At the top, I put Jason Carney, put his phone number, put his email address. I put under realtor, I put no, because I want people to follow that lead. I want people to tell me that they're not represented by an agent.
That's a great idea.
And
I
putting-
always do a dummy.
I do a dummy too.
That's
putting a
so
dummy
funny,
in
yeah.
comes-
I hate open house.
Breaks the ice.
Yeah.
It primes the pump.
Yeah.
And it sets a standard for people to start putting leads down. If I don't walk away with an open house with 1 or 2 leads, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
And so as soon as they write no on, so I welcome them. I said, hey, come on in, here's a flyer. Please sign in to our open house just so I can show my client who's coming. As soon as they write no, I'm their best friend and I'm finding out what they've been looking at, what they want to look at. Sometimes I'll walk away from that open house with an appointment that afternoon for another showing. And so, a lot of repeat business. I probably have 40 to 50% of my clients are investors. And I've helped a lot of investors buy 4, 5, 6, 7 places and calling me for opportunities and just being there for them and being a resource and being a professional and recognizing, like, having that alarm bell go off as soon as there's an opportunity, pouncing on it, not with a hard sell, but with a way that you can help is key. So
I'm gonna go this next round, 2 questions mixed into one. Don't get lost. Number 1, what CRM do you use? So that should be an easy and quick one. Number 2, what is one resource or tool that you absolutely could not do without in your business?
Pro agents, I just use Pro Agents and I don't utilize it as good as I could, as good as I should, frankly.
CRM.
Pro Agents.
That's the free one, right?
So no,
website.
so when it was Home
It can
Smart,
be- It can be free, but they have a paid version.
Okay.
yeah, the paid version used to be 39. And I got grandfathered into that. I think it's 80 now. So it's not cheap these days, per month. I do like that I can track my leads on the back end. I can have clients' favorite homes. When my pattern, I'm teaching my team this is, I'm teaching my son this right now, who just got his license, that I never send stuff on utahrealestate.com. I always send it on my website.
Yeah.
So I can see, because first of all, it's gonna start automating, sending them listings that come on the market.
Is it Proagent website?
Pro agent websites, plural.com, yeah. So yeah, that's the short answer. And then my car is the tool I can't use.
I mean, of course.
Before you move on, there's a question for you. How much of your business is team versus individual?
So what I'm quoting business is all individual. I'm not quoting a team business.
Yeah, we're more of a partnership than a team, I guess. We are a team. So the CRM that I've used from the very beginning is not really a CRM. It's free. I use Google Sheets. It's the long way. I don't like automatic anything going to my clients ever. It's just a personal thing for me. It drives me crazy when I get automated emails from anyone. I don't care if it's Merry Christmas, whatever, I delete it. I just do. I'm so busy with clients or my family or whatever it is. I just don't have time to go through it. And if you didn't really mean it, or even know that you sent it, I don't read it. So I just assume that no one else does. It's not true. But I use Google Sheets because it's free. I got used to it. I can really look and see, each individual client. Rachel will see a house. She texts me. It's nearly every day. Rachel send a text. Who do we know that wants this house? I get on my Google Sheets on my phone. I don't have to log into anything special. I get on there. I'm looking through my list. This one's a 350 buyer. This one's looking for a condo. Have them broken down. I can see it really fast. I'm like, no one. Or we have this person, right? I'm driving. Rachel's out sending those emails out to those people.
We are
So-
a super text business, I've realized.
Yeah,
Like us texting each other and us texting our clients.
she's a texter. I'm a caller.
Yeah, he's a caller.
I call everyone, and if I can't get a hold of them on with a phone call, I'll text them. I hate to text. But because usually, and it depends on what I'm doing. If it's some quick thing, I'll text it. But if I'm negotiating something, I call on the phone every time, which is a whole other thing. But it does tell you what my most important asset or tool is, and that is my phone. It can go with me to soccer game, a swim meet, it goes with me everywhere that I go. My wife many times will say, can I just drive? Because I'll have 5 texts or emails and I'm like, I need to hurry and let me answer this. I don't want him to think I'm ignoring him. And so yeah, or I'll call while I'm driving, but my phone is definitely my most important asset.
Jeff, the train's about to disappear, so we're gonna jump to her. She looks like she's about to leave. I heard you. She's gonna leave her.
Got 12 contracts.
Our CRM is the same as through Zillow.
And that's just because where our leads come from.
That's where our leads come from, so they provide that for us, and so we just work that. She works it better than I do. I kind of fall into the if you're not doing something in the first 3 weeks, then you kind of fall off my plate because there's always a next person that's coming, and so I try to keep myself as activated with those people as possible. I don't know what I don't know what the tool question is
Yeah.
for me.
Let me think about it.
Okay.
But just expanding on the CRM, I got rid of the CRM I was using because again, I really did not think that the automated emails or messages were working. Maybe I didn't spend enough time doing them. I really like more of a personal message. So I'll go like to sit at a coffee shop and I will literally just go down a list. So like Google spreadsheets or whatever. And I will look like, when's the last time I contacted this person, and I will look through and then I will follow up with that person in a text or a phone call. Even the person I've hired to do CRM, these are people that I've really lost contact with. And this is like a last ditch effort to get them back. And I'm giving him specific personalized texts to use. But I don't like the mass. I mean, I know maybe it's effective. I just don't like doing it. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. So.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
I do not send anything to my clients that I wouldn't want, which is garbage. And if it's Merry Christmas, they already know it's Christmas. They don't care. And I get a lot of junk from other people, and it's like, to me, it's very impersonal, and it's very like, you're just a number to me. I'm all about sales. And so I would rather text them and say, hey, your name just popped in my head. How are you doing? Has literally nothing to do with real estate. And they love it every time, right? Because I thought of you. Like, and so I use a Realty Juggler, which is super cheap. It's $180 a year. And it does everything I need it to do. And I'm sure it does more than it, that I know. But it just keeps track of my clients, their phone numbers, their everything. And I can put notes. It sends me reminders, like I'll set up a time of like how often I contact them, and it'll send me a task list. And then, yeah, I don't like mass emails. The only email I send is a newsletter. So one time a month is Spanish Fork happenings, what's happening in Spanish Fork. And then one time a month is the market stats for the South Utah County. I give that in a video. And then any client events or new listings. That's all that people get from me. So, we don't like to send garbage, and a lot of people send garbage, and I feel like it devalues them.
What's your one tool you can?
I forgot that as well.
My TC, I can't live without my TC. I would die without them. So, yeah.
I forgot mine. It's just having resources and other agents. So like I am so annoying with Don and Jeff. I call them all the time and ask questions, and then just other agents like to rely on when you need something, if you have a question, but showing up at team meetings and talking with them and seeing what listings they have and just learning from them.
Yeah.
If you don't show up at those things, I don't know.
I thought of
I
mine.
think it's a disservice, but yeah.
Google Calendar.
Oh.
Amen.
True.
Like
Not in the
if
calendar.
it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And between us and our kids and the coaching and the things like I'll be in the living room double checking. Ingrid walks through the door and I'm like, don't you have a showing in 15 minutes? Like if we didn't do that, it would be chaos.
Yeah.
So CRM, just kind of what James said, we've tried a couple of other things in the past. Pro Agents website, we do like that website for sure. That's a fun. That's who ours is through. But I think ours is the Google Sheets and old texts. If I'm waiting at a doctor's appointment, I'm scrolling old texts and I'm reaching out. That's major number one. My best tool is James. If you do not have a number one agent that you can count on, James and I are 100% partnership. 50-50 partnership, whatever we want to call it. But James is at state swim meet with his kids. I am at the office and I'm making things happen. I'm somewhere with my family. James is doing the showings, making things happen. He can leave town with how many contracts? No problem. I can leave town, so many contracts. There's a lot of agents that do not have a friend. Find a friend. There's other agents, there's a broker from another brokerage that when he leaves town, he texts James and I or calls us and said, I'm leaving town. I got this and this and this. Can you just keep an eye on things? Yep. Find a number one
Or a number two and a number three.
that you can trust.
Sometimes you need
Yeah.
one.
That's a tool, because then your life, you can have
You
real
can
life.
enjoy your life.
And she also
Well-
does do what she does and she says, I'm thinking of you. Cause she's going through her old texts.
Yeah.
And I always think, I could never get away with that. I'd go to jail. So I'm sitting here thinking.
On all of them.
It's appropriate, it's appropriate. So.
You remember her husband.
So man, I'm writing a different. Yeah.
They know her, they think nothing of it. If I did it, they would think you creep.
I just
We
have-
would, yes.
I always
One
thought
more
so,
thing.
every time.
I think James and I, in our transactions, we become really good friends with our clients. As I'm sitting here listening to everyone, we really still nurse those relationships after a closing. Like we super nurse those relationships. That's where our referrals come from. You take care of the people after a closing. You
Oh,
reach
yeah.
out.
They're with you for months sometimes, and sometimes we close a deal and they're like, haven't heard from you.
I'm so
since last
sad.
week."
Where
I know.
you haven't
Like,
sent us
oh,
any
so
bills.
sorry.
Talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah,
you can
I-
still call me.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So just to follow up on that, when you're kind of looking for partners to take over while you leave town, or whatever, how do you, I mean, is it just like they're doing you a favor, or are you compensating them in some way?
Either way, we've done both ways.
Ingrid's they've texted us many times because we trust each other how we do business. So knowing that agent that you're trusting, or that you're leaving your client to, that they're gonna do a good deal, that they're not gonna poach your client, that they're not going to do some,
Right.
something that's gonna make you look bad. And that will do what they say they're gonna do. And so, yeah, these guys have many times, they've been out of town and they're like, hey, we've got a client and they're, do you have time? And then
They really
we're on
want
a
to
group
see a certain
text with
property. Can you
a
take?
couple of other agents, too. And so, yeah,
And we're comfortable with just the referral route.
Yeah,
we
you're
have
Like,
either giving them
you're-
away and taking a referral
Yeah.
or
Like
paying.
you gotta make that decision.
We
Like
refer,
it's
yeah.
somebody I really wanna retain and keep, then you have a conversation with somebody that you trust. If it's somebody that's like, it's a new lead, I'm out of town, hey, run with it, see what happens. If you can close the deal, great, 25%.
Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate your time. We don't want to take more of it. An hour is enough, we know. But if you guys want more of their time, go buy them lunch. Seriously, they will spew all their secrets that they haven't told you if you just buy them lunch. So please give them a round of applause. Thanks for being here.